Hey, this is Matt Boldy, and you're listening to Locked On Wild.
Hey, this is Marcus Foligno, and you're listening to Locked On Wild.
You're Locked On Wild, your daily podcast on the Minnesota Wild. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome back to yet another live show. Denny is back and feeling much better. So we are firing up the show here tonight, fresh off of some exciting Olympic news here today. We'll talk about that. But let's hand the reins over to the man, the myth, the legends. Denny, good evening.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to What the Hell Are You Smoking? I'm going to go over what I saw at the Sweden game, the good stuff, the bad stuff, the whole thing. And I want to start out by coaching. Now, let me ask you. You have 5 of the best players from the United States has to offer. With about 3-4 minutes to go, he decides to have them dump the puck and just receive, what's the word I'm looking for, Seth?
Dump and chase. Dump and chase.
Yes, dump and chase. And then you got Sweden comes back at you wall after wall after wall. Well, you know, when you play not to lose instead of playing to win makes a big difference. And Sweden showed exactly why I'm not in favor of playing not to lose, playing it safe. When you look at our lineup, there are no weaknesses, none. They're all stars. The best we have to offer. And you take away all that by deciding to do a dump and chase. I got to tell you right now, Mike Sullivan, you get, what the hell are you smoking? I'm not kidding. There's no reason to play like that when you have, they're pros. They play in the NHL. And they'll just let them take free shots coming down. I don't get it. It doesn't make good sense to me. What are your thoughts, Seth?
Playing not to lose usually leads to a loss.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Absolutely.
I think it's pretty evident that Mike Sullivan's Rangers team is one of the worst teams in the NHL. The roster is certainly part of it, but his coaching style is a large portion of what got them there.
Absolutely. And I can see why they are where they are, simply because of that coaching decision. I mean, we won the game thanks to Quinn Hughes. And we're putting up I don't know. We're not doing a poll now, right?
No, the poll is up. The poll is up. It is live on the it's live on the stream. And
okay.
So far, there have already been 8 votes.
Oh, okay. Because it's a big part of the show tonight is, my comparison of Bobby Orr to Quinn Hughes. And for anybody who doesn't know, my faithful followers do, but, Bobby Orr is the blueprint for the defenseman of today. When you watch Bobby back in the days, I used to watch Sunday afternoons on a black and white TV. And, that's how I got acclimated to hockey with the pros. And Bobby Orr was so good. And thank you, Trav, for digging up these stats, because it's a lot of time, effort, and work, as you know. So Bobby Orr, he was the Calder winner. He won 2 Stanley Cups. He's 8 times the Norris winner. 8 times. 2 times he won the Art Ross. 2 times he won the Conn Smythe. And as Trav pointed out, he's the only player in the history of the NHL to win all these awards in 1 year. That's how good Bobby Orr is. And now you take a comparison to Quinn Hughes. And believe me, I see more and more of it every time I watch him. And my biggest thing with the Olympics coming up with Canada, because that's who we're going to be playing, USA and Canada are both a tier above everybody else, and there's just no question about it. And I was talking about this to Seth before the show. What happens if it's 3-3 and goes into overtime? What line would you put out there? Pick your three and put it up for comments so we can discuss it. Now, of course, I have mine, and Seth will have his. And let's see what we come up with here, because I can tell you right now, I can really see that happen. The line of Celebrini, McKinnon, and McDavid is one scary line. And you got to think that's who they're going to put out for an overtime. If you got other ideas, let me know, because I'd like to know, what everybody else thinks. But I can't see Canada doing anything but that. I mean, that's a scary combination. But for my combinations, I'll tell you who I have. I've got Eichel with Hughes and Austin Matthews for line 1, and 3 going out overtime. Second would be the Trocheck brothers with Hughes. And if it goes any longer, third line, I have Boldy, Gunsel, and Wersinski. Now, if they don't score between those 3 lines, there's something wrong, because that's one deadly group. Each line is unbelievably good. But that's who we're going to be playing against, is the Celebrinis, the McKinnons, and the McDavids. That's a superstar lineup that I've never seen before. Maybe somebody can come up with one, but I've been racking my brain trying to think of a better lineup. I'm thinking Gretzky with Messier and Coffey would be pretty much right there too. But I can't think of anybody else. Maybe you guys, girls, got some thoughts about that line, because that's a scary line for Canada. But those are my counters. I'd like your thoughts, what you think. And let's move on here to what I'm seeing with the team also. Jack Hughes did not miss a beat. Going down the wing with Trocheck for the fourth line, he looked good. He's very versatile. He's better than I thought he was, to be honest. The more I watch him, I'm impressed. He's so creative with the puck. And it only makes sense that Billy's trying to go after him. I don't see it happening right now, but I could see this summer something goes that way, because it only makes sense. We get the Hughes brothers locked in, good to go. That'd be a huge upgrade for us. Who we lose is the question. And if anybody has any ideas on that, let's hear it. Anything you want to talk about, Seth?
We have one suggestion for a 3-on-3.
Okay.
Quinn and Jack Hughes and Matt Boldy.
Pretty hard to say no to that one. Jack Hughes is so creative, and Boldy, my thoughts on Boldy, he's just honing his craft. He just gets better and better. And I've talked about this before with Boldy. He creates his own space. That's why he's so good in tight. 15 feet in, he's deadly. And 3-on-3, he's a beast out there. I mean, what else can you say about him? He's not a rising superstar. He is a superstar. And I'm just glad that we got to watch him from beginning till now, because the USA Olympic hockey team is making me proud. I got to tell you. I was a little concerned. Not anymore. Any more questions, thoughts, ideas?
Creepy Color says McDavid, McKinnon, and McCarr call that the McLine.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be a deadly line too. McCarr is not quite as good a skater as Hughes, but very close. He's got better edge work than Hughes, I think. But overall, Hughes, I just get more impressed with him every time I see him. He's so fleet of foot, you know, and everybody, the whole thing with the NHL today is to get bigger. Well, he kind of puts a misnomer that, because what is he, 5'10", Seth?
Yeah, probably in that ballpark.
Yeah, and then you look at Lane Hudson. You know, the smaller you are, the more agile you are. And then you're harder to hit. So you have a big advantage there. The disadvantage is if they do hit you, which they will, you get creamed. But, you know, that's the trade-off. You know, I've heard so many people talk about Hughes's time, and I've really thought about this. He's conditioned to play 30 minutes with no problem. So having the offense run through Hughes for half the game is was such a seamless transition to when Hines started doing that. You got to give Hines credit because he's pressing the right buttons, and the team looks extremely good. And you know, my thoughts: Trocheck's going to be here, and here's some new trade ideas I have for you. Coming our way is Trocheck. Going out would be a first round for sure, and either a second or 3 players. And I have Strammel, Samuel Hawaii from Iowa, and Jurasek for Trocheck. Now, the big one here is Strammel. He's probably going to win the Hobey Baker. He's such a good player, and you know, he is big, he's strong, and he can skate. You know, Seth and I both got to go watch him. And he's just going to be a beast. But you got to give up something good to get something good. And does it hurt our team? In the long run, yes, maybe, no, maybe. It all depends on how everything is handled from here on out. But I really think Strammel is the key piece in the trade. And, you know, you look at Samuel, how he's playing. He's ready for the big boys, you know, and the Rangers need a goalie. So it's just a good fit. Samuel goes to the Rangers along with Strammel, and we get Vincent Trocheck, which checks all the marks for what we need. We don't have to give up the world for him. And, you know, he's so good in the dot. And that's our biggest weakness as a team is in the dot. And that rectifies it right away. You know, everything I look at for the playoffs. When there's no time, there's no space, and you're fighting for every inch of the ice. He's just a good fit. He's a lunch pail type of center. He comes to work every day. He gives you all he's got. And he's, you know, he's on the Olympics for a reason because he's one hell of a player. What do you think, Seth?
I mean, it's he brings a lot of, I think, what I lost my train of thought. Oh, it's right there.
Oh, I'm not the only one that does that. All right. I got to tell you, folks, my short-term memory is not doing well. I write it down everything for, you know, Seth and I discuss it, but my short-term health is not good. Now, I'm looking for castor oil is what I'm looking for to start taking. My doctor went, I'm not kidding, he looked at the last 50 years, you know, there was never hardly any dementia like it is today. And he looked at what people ate and used as their home remedies. And castor oil is what I'm going to start taking next. I'm not kidding. Oh, did you forget it completely?
It's gone.
Any more questions or anything with the poll? Come on, people.
The poll is 57% Quinn Hughes, 43% Bobby Orr, with 21 votes.
Really? No, that's not surprising. It really isn't. Because, the game back when Bobby Orr played was so much different. We had the red line. There's no stretch passes back then. They open up what we call stretch pass today back in 2005. And the reason they did that is because we had a coach named Jacques Lemaire who he didn't introduce the 1-3-1, but he made it highly proficient to win the World Cup. And it took the NHL coaches a long time to figure out how to beat it. And, you got to give your hat out to Jacques. When he was here, I think he's probably the best coach we've ever had.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty easy yes.
Yeah. And what he did with the 1-3-1, the Toronto Marlies in 1955 actually supposedly started the 1-3-1 trap. You don't know what you can believe when you read on the net these days, if you know what I mean. But just looking stuff up and to see where it is today. When we played Calgary, they used the 1-3-1 trap to stop our stretch pass. And they were pretty effective at it. The stretch pass offense now, it's high risk, high reward. And it's also high risk getting burnt. That's the nature of the play. And when you watch Quinn Hughes and how he operates the offense now, very, very few people can do it. Cale Makar is one, Zorinsky is another. But over the course of 50 years of hockey, and I don't know how much more I can say this, Bobby Orr changed the game. And every D-man that you look at today came from Bobby Orr. Quinn Hughes, as good as he is never going to win all those awards. It's a different game today, and they expect different things. I actually think Quinn Hughes is going to be a 100-point player for us. I have no question in that. He's that good. And but that was Bobby Orr's average. He was, he was a phenomenal player. And Quinn Hughes is slowly catching up to him. There's things that Quinn Hughes does that Bobby didn't do, but he didn't need to do it either. So it's hard to say because the game is so much different today. But in my estimation, Quinn Hughes might be overall the best player in the NHL. Man, it's all the big guns. Maybe not for scoring, but his whole total game. He's that good. The way he has transformed the Wild is breathtaking, really. He's that good. He's like Kirill Kaprizov. Everybody who plays with Kirill becomes an automatic better player just right off the bat because he's that good. He is a true superstar. And you see that in Quinn Hughes. Every time he goes on the ice, he elevates the player's play. And you can't ask for more than that. And that's all I got to say. What else can you say? Quinn Hughes is just one phenomenal player. Your thoughts, Seth?
He's one of one, I think, is I think that's the phrase the kids use.
One of one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Any questions or thoughts, comments?
A couple comments. Let's start with just a thought from We Made 303 HJ. He compared Mike Sullivan's coaching to Bob Motzko.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. That's really a good one. Well said. I love it. Oh, yeah, Bob Motzko. Boy, that's a trip over there. I don't see him lasting much longer, I got to be honest. I'm not impressed.
The worst.
you
It's
think,
one of the worst seasons the Gophers have had in quite some time.
Yeah.
I don't know how
can't
far
remember,
back, but it's
I
not
can't
good.
remember a season this bad ever. I mean, I've been watching the Gophers since '65. You know, we're talking. I've never seen a team this bad. And is it the coaching, the players not listening to the coach? Is it the players who they're overrated? I don't know what the problem is because you know, we should maybe have somebody on to talk about the Gophers. What do you think?
Yeah, that would not be a bad idea at all.
Yeah. So Seth and I will put our heads together and see what we can come up with, getting somebody from the University of Minnesota men's hockey team that knows that will, you know, I hate the classic interviews after the game type stuff because they don't tell you nothing.
Yeah.
I want to do something in depth a little bit and from the heart kind of stuff.
Glenn's got a good summary for right now. He said the
okay.
Gophers goalies are bad.
Well, you know, I haven't got to watch but a couple of games this year, but yeah, he said they're bad. They're bad. Why else would he say it? I'm no authority at all on it, but
well, it seems like every box score I see is like 6-5 or 7-6 or 5-4. Honestly, that series against Notre Dame was like the lowest scoring games that the Gophers have played that I've seen this year.
Really? Yeah, I haven't got to keep up with the Gophers at all this year. And I'm ashamed of that because I'm a hardcore Gopher fan. Or at least I used to be. Can't say I'm hardcore now. But, you know, my whole life is the Wild. This is what I live for. And as long as people are sitting, taking the time out to listen to me instead of rant and rave, I'm all in. You know, I don't know if I offered you any insight today at all, but that's what my show's about. It's just sharing what I see. Any more questions?
Oh,
comments?
Yeah. We got a lot to get to.
Okay.
Some love for Samuel Levi. Levi has potential, and he's shown that. Him being on the worst team in the AHL certainly doesn't help.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I would think right now he's very highly coveted as a trade piece. He's showing you what he can do in the Olympics. That's all the big boys. And boy, he's standing tall. He looks good. He's the perfect trade chip right now. He really is. And I would not be surprised to see him in the Trocheck deal of the Rangers, because we all know that's happening. When Trocheck goes and tries to get in pictures with the Wild, they know something we know. And it just shows you. They're saying it without saying it. And I've seen that happen a lot over the years. That's why I'm so confident in that. Next question.
Creepy Color says, I think Wally, that being Jesper Wallstedt, proved that I was a dumpster fire.
Oh, that's a good one. That's really a good one. Oh, a dumpster fire. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's, the Iowa Wild are highly rated talent-wise, and Scott Wheeler from the Athletic had him ranked second in the farm teams. Second, and we're in last place. And then you look at Colorado. Their farm team is in first place, and they're ranked last in talent. Explain that one to me. I have no idea.
I don't think any of those defensive prospects down there are worth much.
For Iowa?
They don't seem like they can defend at all.
We really need to go down and watch a game, Seth, to give, I don't watch them, so I can't give you an honest opinion. I don't do anything clickbait, as everybody knows. Clickbait to me is talking about a comparison with Orr and Hughes. That's as much clickbait as you're going to get out of me. And I know everybody, lot of shows are very popular, 10 minutes or less, and they just say whatever, and it's all a bunch of, you know.
The one today said trade imminent for the Minnesota Wild. It's a done deal. It's signed up. It's just a matter of exchanging the players.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you, they'll say anything just to get some hits. And, you know, that's what YouTube is all about. Where in our case, I don't give a shit. I'm not, I don't do clickbait. Not at all. All you get is what I really see in the game. There's nothing more honest and forthright than from the heart. That's what I give you. Next question.
Brian chiming in on the Iowa side. He says that he doesn't think Cronin is the problem. He thinks it's more of a roster issue.
Well, I'm sure it is. Cronin's a hell of a coach. I like him.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing that when I do, we're not scoring many goals. I think that's a huge problem down there. And when you look at how we use the Iowa club, you know, players are going up and down all the time. I think that has something to do with it. I don't know. Maybe not.
I will say this. I think the big indicator of success is that Cronin, when players are sent up from Iowa, they have by and large looked good in Minnesota. So I think that's the barometer that I'm willing to use. I mean, would it be nice if they had a better record? Sure. The main thing is just making sure that those guys are ready to go when they get called up to the NHL. And they have been.
That's a very good point, Seth. You're right, because when they come up, they don't hurt us. And that's all you can ask for. You know, you look at how Samuel's playing right now. Jesus. He's a world beater. You remember we watched him a couple of years ago, and, you know, he had all the basics down. He looked really good. You know, and now when you're that kind of goalie, now it's just learning to read the plays and to be in the position. And that's the biggest thing you got to learn going from amateur to pro. At least that's what I think. I don't know. Maybe Trav has some ideas, because I tell you, Trav is one of the smartest hockey people we have on our show, folks. I know he's on all, but, you know, it's really nice to have Trav on the show giving his remarks and comments. You know, I have several guys, Ron and John and Bob. These are all really elite hockey minds, and we're lucky to have them, Seth.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Next.
Let's go Sneaky Pete. Any chance the Wild snag Brady Tkachuk or Austin Matthews before the deadline?
No.
Brady is a wing, I believe, but seems to take faceoffs whenever he sees him play. Those guys periodically take faceoffs, but that is a layered trade. Is the phrase that I'll use. It's layered because you would have to get a third team involved to make that work.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't see Tkachuk's coming here. None of them. When I started looking for help for the Wild a couple months ago, I had Ryan O'Reilly, Trocheck, and then I later added what's his name from Toronto? I forgot.
Tavares. Yep.
That's my short-term memory. Sorry, folks.
You got there before I did.
and the kid from New Jersey, Nico Hershey. And, you know, that's after looking at all the teams. That's all I came up with. And I think it's probably dead on to what the Wild are looking at, too. I mean, there's certain things you got to look at. And what the Wild need is somebody in the dot. We get that. We're going to be very, very tough to beat. I don't see anybody beat us. I don't see Colorado. I don't see Dallas, Tampa Bay. And the scary team of all of them is Buffalo. boy, they have over the last 2 months, they've only lost like 3 or 4 games. They're very well put together, and they got a lot of speed. And the skill level is there. They're scary. What do you think, Seth?
They are certainly going to be a tough out. I just worry. I worry about teams that were peaking pre-Olympic break. If it's my preference, I would rather peak in March and April than in December
absolutely.
and January.
What do we have? 24 games left? 25 games?
Yeah, I think it's 24.
24 games left. We have to win 17. 17-8 is a very, or 17-7. That's a very realistic number for our team because we're that good. And, we don't get a lot of respect out east. And that's the way it's always been. The East hockey pundits do not like the Wild, really. They hate talking about them, really. But the Minnesota Wild, and I've said this before, this is the best team Minnesota Wild have ever. It's not even close. And Billy's not done. And that's so much hope for the Stanley Cup. And I'm absolutely positive Billy's going to do the right thing. And it does not include Wallstead. It does not include Yeroff. Please get off that. Those two aren't going anywhere. And the last show, somebody brought up the fact we might have to give somebody up to make it work, right? And I mentioned that would probably be our fourth line center, which is
Nico Sturm.
Yeah. Would probably have to go back or somebody like that to make the money work. If that did happen that way, that's who I would send back. If we needed a player just to make it work both ways with the money. But you never know. That's just, speculation there. That doesn't mean nothing. But I really do think Trocheck's coming. He'll be here. And we're going to have the scariest team in the NHL. I've never said that before. And I know this hasn't happened yet, but that's what I see coming. What do you think, Seth?
Depends on the health. Health is that's going to be the biggest factor this year. If they can stay healthy, they've certainly got a shot.
Health is always the big deal. I just got a feeling that, I've talked to the hockey gods earlier before the season started, and we were both in agreement. Minnesota's going to be good this year, and the hockey gods are going to be nice to them. And so far, they haven't hurt us that bad. It's always about the injuries. And as long as we don't lose Boldy, Eck, Kaprizov, our goalies, Hughes, we can withstand everything else. We're that deep. I said it before, I'll say it again. They're building a dynasty here. And as many times as Billy has been wrong, when he's right, he's really right. And I don't know how else you can look at it. Because, for 3 years there, he didn't do real well in his picks or his trades. And then all of a sudden, here we are. One big trade. That might be the biggest trade in NHL history besides Gretzky, really. That's how big a trade that really is when you think about it. What do you think, Seth?
It's certainly up there, but I would tend to lean Gretzky, I guess, just because of his pedigree and but that's just me.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, a lot of people, now that Ovi's passed his points record, to me, Ovi's not even close to Gretzky. And I'll tell you why. You know, Ovi's an awesome player. He deserves all his accolades. But Gretzky in his prime, he averaged 200 points a year or more. 200 points. Think about that. We don't have anyone close to that these days. But that's how good he really was. And, you know, Ovi has broken all the records and he deserves, but he's not coming, he didn't come close to breaking the 200 points in a season. He did that 4 times. Let that sink in. That's how good the hockey was. Different game than back then, but it doesn't matter. Any questions from the fans?
Oh yeah.
Well, let's get to them.
We're getting through them.
Okay.
Do you think the Wild will come back from the Olympics unscathed?
Yes. I'm praying and I'm hoping. What do you think, Seth?
Well, the big question mark was always Joel Eriksson Ek, and Sweden is eliminated, so check that box off.
There you go. That's a good one.
He did block a shot, and I saw an update on X that he had that he went down the tunnel, and I was like, oh God, here we go. But he came back into the game, so evidently he was good enough to keep playing.
Well, oh, that's another thing. I really think Act goes off the last 2 months. I think you're going to see the upgraded version of Act coming up.
He looked good after he came back from injury. He looked like he had any of the previous few seasons.
Okay. Next question.
Are you aware of the phenomenon on social media of the blank stare that Quinn Hughes does on the bench that is referred to as him seeing ghosts?
That's the first on me. Tell us about it. Do you know anything about this stuff?
Yeah. So if you notice during games, Quinn Hughes has a very blank stare on the ice when he's just sitting on the bench when he's not in the game. And people have taken to saying that he's seeing ghosts.
Really?
Yeah.
How did I miss that one? First I've heard.
He does. I have seen the blank stare, and I don't typically have that same. I just allude to it as him in the zone.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what do they call that in anything to calm
Game
your
face.
body?
Game face.
Yes, game face. That's, that makes sense to me. I completely missed the ghost deal. I'm slipping. I'm sorry. Next question.
You kind of alluded to this earlier, but Steve asking, are the Wild going to wait till the summer to make a big splash?
No. Right after the Olympics are done, you're going to see Billy make his move. The only reason I see him waiting this long is he's building the money on the cap, because I think he's not doing one. I think he's doing 2 deals. I don't see anybody who's in agreement with me that in the hockey world, but that's what I see coming. Who they are, I have no idea. The most important thing is getting Trocheck. Everything else is just a bonus. And if it hurts the team too much, I would not be in favor of it. Keeping a team and the chemistry together is a fine line. And you've seen in the past with the Wild, they traded, he came from Phoenix and he couldn't skate at all.
Martin Hanzal.
Oh. Yes. Very good, Seth. What a way to screw up a team, to bring in a totally opposite player, and it just devastated the chemistry of that team. And there you go. That's proof positive. Next question.
And as far as trades go, I've kind of talked about this in episodes over the last couple of weeks, but top 6 depth defensemen, depth forward, honestly, I would be fine with any level of depth move at the deadline. You can get depth NHL guys for cheap at the deadline, like a draft pick or a prospect. I would be in favor of just adding a little bit of depth before the deadline, provided there's room to still operate with the main objective still being taken care of.
Well, you bring up a good point, Seth. I see a lot of talk about Hartman getting traded. I think that's a serious no on my part. Hartman is an elite grinder right now. You can put him on the first line, the second, the third, the fourth, and he fits right in. He knows what his job. And he always brings up his play in the playoffs. And he's not having a bad year. It's not his best year, but you know what? When he scored 35 goals, that was his career year, and every hockey player plays as long as him. They get one of those. And now what we're seeing is an elite grinder, is what I see. Him and Foligno really are the bread and butter of this team, and you need grinders to win a championship. You can't have all stars. This is not the Olympics. Next question.
Trav wants to know if you remember the Eric Lindros trade when he refused to play for Quebec.
Oh, yeah. That was a big hubbub back then. I mean, it's a sad situation what happened with him. You know, he got hurt. That was that. But all the hullabaloo before that, he said, I'm not playing here. Trade me. They didn't know what to do. It had never happened before. That's a good one, Trav. Anything you want to enlighten us about? Let's hear it. Next question.
What is the difference between playoff Hartman and Trocheck? Face-offs for one.
Yeah, that's number one. Number two, Trocheck has much better hands. His skill level is really, really good. He's not on the Olympics because he's just an average player. He's on the Olympics because he's a damn good player. He's playing fourth line, but you know what? Doesn't matter what line is out there. They're all awesome.
Yeah.
The Olympic team, this is the best Olympic team I've ever seen, and that includes the 1980 team when we won the gold. That's how good this team is. We have no weaknesses at all. All our defense can move the puck or shut down. I mean, and up front, we're built for the Olympics for this kind of game. That's why I'm picking the U.S. to win the gold. 4-3 in overtime. Next question.
Creepy Colors wants to know, I wonder if Adam Benak, I think it's Benak. Yeah. If he will be used as a trade chip this year.
Very well could be. We don't know what Bill is thinking. And we certainly, excuse me, you know, every GM and their crew look at players differently. And they might see Benak as the best player on our team. You don't know, but that's really possible. You know, it all depends on what they're looking for. And because the Rangers are in blow-up mode, that's why I think it's a done deal. And you have to look at what's best for the Rangers. Do they want picks or do they want players? And I think they want players. You know, first is going to be an automatic, but I don't see the Wild giving up another pick when they're so far down in the draft. I think they'd rather have players. What do you think, Seth?
Yeah, I think so. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with draft picks. Draft picks are great when you're bad. They are great when you are picking early on in rounds because there's a higher likelihood that you can steal a player who is rated higher than where you pick them. Like if you are a team that's picking in the top 10, you essentially get 2 first-round picks. If you have a first and the second, because you pick in the top 10 in the second round, and that is usually a player that fell out of the first.
There you
So
go.
that is where draft picks are valuable. If you are going to be drafting in the 20s, 25, 26, 27, draft picks flip to being more useful as far as trade chips go. So it all depends. And you, if you're in your playoff window, you got to use whatever assets you have to get players that can help you now. I do agree. I think because I don't think the Rangers I don't think the Rangers believe that they have to fully tear it down. So I think they're going to try to expedite this, and I think they will be looking for more players than prospects.
I concur. That's an astute observation. I like it.
And a point that I want to make too about Judd Brackett.
Yes.
This is where your director of scouting becomes a valuable resource too, because Brackett knows those players. He knows what they're capable of. He knows the farm system. Billy's going to be asking, hey, who can we afford to lose in our system? Who can we afford to give up? And Brackett will tell him. Brackett will tell him the players that you should try to keep at all costs. Because that's what his job is. His director of scouting is to tell Billy which players are more valuable, which players could be bigger impact, and which players other teams may be willing to, maybe interested in trade. He's going to sign off on whatever players end up getting moved in a deal.
Absolutely. Judd Brackett, as far as I'm concerned, is the best we've ever had in the Wild history. He doesn't hit on every pick, but nobody does. And he's well above 50%. And when you see, Scott Wheeler said we had the second best talent. Well, that has to tell you right there, that's all Judd Brackett. He keeps the coffers full. And who knows what's going on with Iowa, but exactly. Judd Brackett's the best hire we've ever had for picks and player development. I mean, you're right on, Seth. He's as good as it gets. Next question.
Any word on what has gone on with FanDuel? I know there was news that the FanDuel offices in Minneapolis laid off a bunch of people. As far as I know, that did not impact the broadcast side at all. It was more so with their web presence. It was writers, producers, editors. I think that was more of what was impacted in the recent layoffs. I have not heard anything as far as changes to what is currently going on with FanDuel as far as their broadcast goes. But I know it's something that the NHL is keeping a close eye on. Frankly, I think it's a joke that judges have allowed FanDuel to navigate through one bankruptcy and nearly a second, and are just like, oh no. You just keep going. Just keep doing what you're doing. We'll let you get the money whenever. It's like just dissolve and give the rights to the team. I will say too that I don't think this impact, because obviously my main concern is, I would hate to see the guys that broadcast the games lose their jobs, but I'm pretty sure all of the guys, as far as the TV side goes, I'm pretty sure they are all Wild employees.
Okay.
As opposed to like FanDuel employees.
Well, I know FanDuel closed down in New York today. I know that much.
Yeah.
Can't wait for them to be gone.
Yeah.
I want a streaming service that we can see every single game, period. It's a joke how they do it now with the blackouts for local games. It's ridiculous.
I never thought I would say that ESPN having rights to NHL games is one of the worst things that could have happened to the league. But how can you as a network have broadcast rights for 4 years and you're still making basic mistakes? Like
Yeah.
the last game that I listened to on ESPN, the audio was just completely different. Like it was on a completely different level. It was too loud. It was too quiet. Then all of a sudden there was no sound other than the play-by-play. It's like, how are you making these mistakes? It's basic stuff. I know because I work in audio. It's basic. But that shows a level of just really not caring about what's going on.
Well, I got an idea here for you, Minnesota Wild. Why don't you look at the baseball teams that are doing streaming their own games? Streaming is the way to go. It really is. And I would hope that this summer you look and invest heavily in the streaming operation, make it yours, and show us every game. This blackout stuff I hate it. I just hate it.
I'm not a fan of having to have multiple different apps. And the thing too is like, so they say the game's on ESPN. Okay, so I'll watch the game on ESPN on TV. Not so fast. You got to watch it on the app. It's like, oh, well, now I have to sign in through the app. It's stupid. Put it in one spot.
Ridiculous. Any more questions, Seth? That was as well put as you could put it.
Yeah, like it's crazy to me, and I think this speaks to larger issues going on from a more corporate level. But we're not going to get into it here. It just is crazy to me that money has become the bottom line as opposed to making sure that fans see the most amount of games possible. But
there you go.
Corporate greed. Yes, creepy colors. Dallas is doing their own exclusive streaming platform that they are running through their own website with their own exclusive content. That, as far as I know, is free to the public.
It is. And they make
guess
their money on the advertisers.
Bingo.
Bingo.
If you want to recoup lost revenue for charging for a subscription, get more advertisers on board. You know how many more advertisers are going to get seen if they are on a free platform as opposed to one where you have to pay $150 for a year or whatever the number is?
Yeah.
I would think that you would rather be seen by an audience of, I don't know, there are a couple million people in the state of Minnesota at least, right? I would rather be seen by an audience of,
5 million,
10 million throughout the United States, as opposed to 750,000 people that pay $29.99 a month or whatever it is to watch the game.
I like your thinking, Seth. I like it a lot.
Then again, I'm just a common podcaster here. I'm not a business major. I'm not an economics major. I'm not an advertising guy. So I don't know.
Well, if Dallas is doing it, they damn better take a look at it because they need to. Any more questions tonight?
This would be another one. Jay brings up a good point. KSTP or KSTC could theoretically take over broadcast rights. I think if the rights were I got to think of how to say this. I think if FanDuel ceases to exist and the NHL takes the rights back, or the Wild take their own rights into their own control, then they can work out a deal with the local channels to get the games on. It's like what the Vikings do.
Yeah. What an idea. I love it. In fact, you know what? I'm going to get a hold of Chris Long, who I'm a friend of, and throw it at him, see what he thinks, if he hasn't already. But I think that's something we need to explore. Now, we're just ahead of the rest of the podcasters when it comes to this. Oh, at any rate, is that it?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for questions. Trav brings up a good one. We should take this time, and I'm pulling up my schedule right now. We should take this time to let everybody know when the next show will be.
Oh, Yeah. Thank you, Trav. I appreciate it. You know I do.
As far as my schedule goes, looks like Monday's open.
Well, Monday
So
at 8.
let's plan for Monday.
Sounds good to me. So, rewind. Mike Sullivan gets a "What the hell are you smoking?" That's a poor coaching decision. I don't know how you can do that. Honestly, and if everybody thinks about it, I think they'll come to the same conclusion. Even though we won, I just don't, that's not good coaching, in my opinion. And with that, thank you everybody for taking the time to listen to me and Seth rant and rave, and bring a little bit different to the hockey view than whatever else is slamming on. And we'll see you next Monday. With that, everybody. Oh,
Locked On Wild programming note, I'm doing an episode right after this. It's going to be kind of a grab bag because I know we've been doing the performance reviews, but I want to talk about Quinn Mania, Quinn Hughes. I also had somebody ask if I could do a check-in on how all of the Wild players traded to Vancouver are doing. So,
good one.
I'm going to do that, and we'll of course, as Lucas mentions, we'll talk about the women's gold too. It's going to be kind of a grab bag episode, and then I'll do more of those performance reviews tomorrow. Are you guys liking those? Just checking in and seeing where people are at as far as the season goes.
Oh, I know. What did we end up with the poll?
Oh, good call. Quinn Hughes by a nose. 37 votes. He won 51-49.
Interesting. Thank you, everybody. See you next Monday.